Hey, how was your President's Day? How'd you celebrate?
There we go. Sorry, what? How did I celebrate President's Day?
Yeah, yeah.
At the gym, I watched 40 minutes worth of the movie Lincoln.
No, you
So that was
didn't. Did
pretty
you
good.
really?
So yeah.
Not
Well,
not because of President's
my
Day.
gym has like a cinema room in it,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you can
Damn,
watch movies.
that's a
And they
good
had
deal.
Lincoln going on Monday.
Daniel Day Lewis, Lincoln.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the ending of the movie, but yeah, they abolished slavery. Ah, jeez. Sorry for anyone. That's two
I
weeks in a row.
know.
I'm so sorry for the spoilers. Yeah.
Is Daniel Day Lewis our best president ever? I think he is. I mean, he's not American, but he did kind of run New York
That,
City for a while in Gangs of New York. He did drink our milkshake.
Mhm.
He was an Indian, aka a Native American. In Last of the Mohicans, he's been more American than any one of us, and he slays it
Totally.
way
Totally.
better.
Or at least he's really pro America. Like, yeah. Because you can't take all these jobs and be like, you know who I hate? America. Like, America's paying your checks, literally and figuratively. I don't know.
Dude, Hollywood is
Hollywood's
all
writing the
right.
checks for you to be pro America. So why don't you knock it off, Mr. Day Lewis? That sounds pretty Hispanic to me. Daniel of
De
Lewis.
Louis,
Daniel
De
Day
Louis,
Lewis.
yeah.
Day Louis. Yeah.
D
Spanish French.
Diaz
Mm-hmm.
Luis, Diaz Luis.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Hey,
There's a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
do the
people in that
thing
movie, but it's
that
yeah.
I think you should tilt your camera down more. Remember how I didn't do that for like 40 episodes?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, what I'm gonna tell myself is to not have such a 2004 women's haircut. Like I got this thing going. Remember that was hot. Like when all of our friends, like who were women, would do the up top, like to like put their hair into like a kind of a mohawk, but then bring it all back. I did that accidentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
You
no!
look like Pink did like 15 years ago. So
Oh
good for
fuck!
good luck. It's a good look. It worked for
I'll
her.
take it.
Who's say it? Yeah. Who's say it won't work for you?
And if I knew a Pink lyric, I would sing it right now. Let's get it started. No, what's
Nope.
get?
Nope. So you better get the party started because Matt's coming out. That's
Oh,
perfect. Cue the theme music. That's really good.
I'm coming up.
Confuse my priorities. Isn't it supposed to come to me? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. Every little thing flashing on a screen. Age of convenience. My daddy worked hard for this. Age of convenience. His daddy worked hard for this.
Now
One
it took
for
me. It was so hard for me to not say retarded. Now I just said it. Let's get it started. Do you know it was called Let's Get Retarded in 2008? Fergie.
a rid. Well,
Originally Black
that
Eyed
all right.
Peas Fergie was like,
You just messed up like seven things. So it's Black
was
Eyed
it not?
Peas,
Yeah, Black Eyed Peas,
and
yeah. Yeah.
it's from like 2003.
Oh,
So
I was 2008, sorry.
just oh my god, I hate you already. Like
Woo!
it is way. We are like 4 minutes into recording, and I have had it. This is
Let's
awful.
go.
Don't celebrate. None of this is good. Stop that. That's not even proper use of a rim shot.
Yeah.
Oh
That's what she said. Where is it? Oh.
That's what she said.
Oh God. We're going.
yeah, wow.
It's
It's just gonna become you clicking just clips so that you have to contribute less and less to the show, which I don't know. We'll see.
I wish I was
It
way
changed the
better at the
format.
soundboard because
Yeah.
it takes me so long to scroll through and figure it out. But
Yeah, no,
I was thinking, oh,
it's noticeable.
what it is, I
Oh,
know.
that it takes you
Yeah,
a long time to find what you're looking for, and then the
yeah.
moment has passed. But no, please continue.
Quick small talk. Small talk. I combine talk and topic. Quick small talk.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. It's like there's a lot of this is because I don't know. I'm about to get deep, but it's like I'm not. But it's like you can't say retarded and gay and that it's stuff like this, and it's like and you shouldn't. And now there's like a bunch of comedians that are being like, no, I'm gonna say it now because I'm gonna like rebel against it and
Mm-hmm.
just say those words. But it's like I feel like the reason we don't say it is because it's like most people aren't. It's just not funny. Like now, like the punchline to a lot of jokes these days is like it's gay or it's retarded, and that's the whole joke. And it's like, well, yeah, that's why it's not funny, and that's why we don't like it. That's my opinion. Like I don't know. Like I don't think we should use it liberally. To me, like I don't think we should just. Like I know there's like a fight against whatever wokeness is, but I don't know. I can't think of somebody who was really canceled who wasn't really an asshole just because of the
Who
words they
didn't
said.
deserve it?
Yeah, I know. So it's like you didn't get canceled because you said gay or retard. It's just like no, we don't want to say those because like it's most of the time it's not funny or like that shouldn't be the punchline because that was a punchline in 1989 and now you're bringing it back like it's and I think about it and I think honestly like Shane Gillis is very funny. Like guys like Mark Norman, they're very funny and they have really good jokes, but a lot of their punchlines are just saying those words and other people I mean they're better writers about it and I think that they like are funnier about it, but then I think people just copy that because that's what comedy is copying the people that you like and then just saying the words and thinking that it's supposed to be funny and it's like it's not a joke. It's not a joke to say a
Well, no,
word
yeah,
because it's
it's
not you're not supposed to
lazy.
say it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's so much laziness. It's like I don't get
Yeah.
like
Well, and because if you beat around the like, not beat around the bush because you're not wanting to say, but like if you formulate it, the problem is realistically talking to friends and stuff. You may use those words sparingly in conversation. However, writing jokes take the time to say a much cleaner word or rephrase it, and it will literally be funnier than using the vulgarity.
yeah
Like
like
beating around the bush for vulgarity, like I'm vulgar as a person, just how I talk. Like that's just my personality. But if I
I
were
know. Yeah,
writing
same.
comedy, I don't want to be vulgar because it's funnier to use the alternatives to vulgarity. It really is. It makes the jokes funnier. Avoiding the vulgarity when someone knows exactly what maybe your brain is processing, but if you avoid the vulgarity, it's a lot funnier. So I think clean comedians, when people complain about clean comedians or family friendly comedians, will say, like, I tend to disagree. Like, Kevin James Sweat the Small Stuff is one of my favorite stand up specials ever. Um, but also there's Nate Bargatze
Oh yeah,
who's started coming up over the last few years,
it's a
and
stud. Brian
he's really
Regan,
funny too. And
Jim
there
Gaffigan.
is nothing
I mean, they're
epic about his
studs.
comedy, but it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
funny. I don't know.
yeah. Like you don't have to like. I hate that the punchline is just a word now, or something that's like, "Hey, here's my punchline. It's something that's supposed to get me canceled, but I'm just saying it because I'm such a devil. Look at me just saying a word I'm not supposed to say." And whatever, I'm not into it, and it kind of makes me back. I'm gonna back off, not because I think you're gonna get canceled, because it's not funny. Just make things funny, and
It's
we
true.
shouldn't be like leaning into like do you have a do you know Matt Rife? You know this cat, the sexy
Yes.
motherfucker, the sexy ass
Stop it.
motherfucker. So I had heard of
That's
him.
weird. You're
I mean,
being
I think
weird.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have. and I don't know, like 6 or 7 months ago, because I think he came around Syracuse or something like that in multiple places, and he was like I knew people. I'm going to see Matt Rife, and I was like, I think I've seen like on my algorithm on YouTube to watch him, and I finally did, and I watched him, and I was like, he just
He doesn't do
I
stand up.
think
He just
I think he's
talks.
funny as a human being. Like if you're like around him, hanging out with him,
Correct.
he's probably really funny. But
But he has no
his
material.
jokes should be jokes. There's no like
Right.
every joke every time he set up a premise, the first thing I thought of was the joke, and it's like you can't be the first thing that all of us think of. It can't be, you got it right. It can't be like the word or something that gets you canceled. It can't be the first thing you think of. And I don't know why I'm
So
gatekeeping it, but please, I just
it's
love the medium so much. I just yearn for greatness.
it is a little it is a little gatekeepery, but I agree with my also not gravitating towards that type of comedy. But if people want to pay for that type of comedy, do what's funny. Like
True.
at least you're aspiring to go to comedy shows. So I'm all for that. One comedian that I easily put in my I'm gonna call him a top 3 for me,
Whoa,
and I could never do what he does,
it's exciting.
is Anthony Jeselnik. Sorry, I didn't realize what you're doing,
I
but
went too
you're
hard on the
working on your
drums.
timing, and I appreciate that.
I know.
But
Yeah.
Anthony Jeselnik, I could never write
Oh,
the stuff he writes. I don't understand how your brain can do it. I don't know. I don't understand. So, folks, like in general, he has jokes that take about 60 seconds to tell, and they're like misdirects, but like they're also not necessarily vulgar. They're just really messed up topics and stuff. And he's the king of just making you think, just from what Matt's saying, how you can predict the ending. You cannot predict the ending of an Anthony Jeselnik setup, and it's amazing. I don't understand how his brain can do that.
yeah. He's like a. I would put him on my Mount Rushmore too. And I think he gets a rap too as like just trying to be dark, but he's like, um, I mean, it's not like he's not trying to be dark. He's just trying to like create a joke and write. He's like he loves literature. Like I listen to his podcast, the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project (JRVP),
Yeah.
Junior
Yep.
Vice President. So that's a very deep cut, but he like and he answers comedy questions and talks about it and the idea of it. And he's like he's not trying to hurt people or anything. He just wants to like be funny and like he works very hard. That's why he doesn't put out a special every year. There's the thing about like now it's like every comedian has to put a special out every year, and it's like it takes a long time to like be funny and to write stuff worth writing. It's like what if somebody wrote a novel every year? Well, you'd be like Dean Koontz or whoever wrote those, like Patricia Cornwell, all those like the serials and stuff that like you can't put that much time into quality control if you're doing it every year. If you're touring it and doing all that stuff. And this is coming from a guy that's never done it before. But I'm just saying, like, as a
So take
consumer,
it from
as a
me.
consumer of this medium, yeah, it's like you can tell, like, it's getting so watered down, and it's like that's what I mean. So that's get full circle. It's like the joke isn't just a word. If it is, it better be very good. And but yeah, Nick's very funny. He's on his Bones and All tour. I would love to see it. He's about to record. I think in Milwaukee he's going to do a special. Who else? Who? Let's just
Ooh,
let's just play this out.
Mount
If you had a
Rushmores of
Mount
comedy.
Rushmore of comedians, yeah. Maybe let's stick. Well, do you want
Um,
to stick to stand up like
yeah,
strictly? I've seen
yeah, because
Justin Nick live by
I
the
think
way
acting
before.
comedian is different because it's a total different talent.
Yeah, like Sandler would
Um,
be like for funny people. Sandler would be in my Mount Rushmore just because of the CDs and the movies and all that stuff. The
it's
CDs,
true.
yeah,
The CD, yes. Oh man, comedy CDs used to be the
uh,
jam, but that probably died out with
yeah.
the last guys to really the last guy to really capitalize was Dane Cook. Dane Cook's, I
He
think,
was,
Armful
yeah.
of Swallowed
Oh
was the
one or
big one.
whatever, the super finger
Like
or whatever.
that Harmful as Swallow, where he talks about like
Oh yeah.
Monopoly and the car accident. I heard it, so I came out. Like that
The car
album
accident's big, yeah.
was insanely popular when stand-up comedy was not even remotely popular. I believe that also, oddly enough, was 2003, if I'm not mistaken. That album was so popular. Like we were talking about it in college. Like people just knew Dane Cook as a stand-up comedian. But in the late 90s, stand-up wasn't big. The biggest names in stand-up either had TV shows or were in movies. Like there was no stand-up comedy was definitely not remotely as popular as it is now. So the fact that Dane Cook was able to release a comedy CD and like hit the billboards with just a stand-up performance is really incredible. And it's a shame, to be honest with you, it's a shame it didn't translate for a movie career. He tried, Lord knows he tried, but he fell pretty flat as far as a
Employee of the month,
movie career went.
right? Isn't that his deal?
Huh?
Yeah. Employee of the month or something like that. Was that what it was?
Employee of
Employee
the
of the
month.
month and
He was in Waiting, but he wasn't even the main.
oh
Wasn't
yeah,
even
that's
one of the
right. Yeah.
remotely main characters. Good Luck Chuck was another Dane Cook uh,
He
avenue.
was in a movie with
Yeah,
Jessica Alba, who is all over Mount Rushmores of hall passes for sure. Like for those days, for those days.
who
It's like
also I'm pretty sure we don't talk about the fact that I don't really think she's really a good actress, and she's never really brought a movie up. She's kind of got the Halle Berry effect. Is this person? Should this person be that famous?
I mean, she's not a terrible actress, but she is beautiful. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You proved my
I
point.
love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and Halle Berry got her Oscar for just getting full nude in a movie. That's when she got her Oscar. Right? Like, didn't she do that for like Monsters Ball or whatever it was? That's when she finally like
Yeah.
got. It's like, hey, congratulations for going full naked. Here you go. Here's an Oscar. Thank the
Yeah.
world thanks you for like doing
What's
that.
my Oscar for? Best
Yeah,
portrayal of pantless
yeah.
self.
You did sex real good. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, we liked it. That was real good. I gotta throw
Um,
Norm. Norm's my guy. Norm's my number one all time. Norm Macdonald.
it's so good. You know what? I was listening to a pod of some sort, and they mentioned an excerpt that he did on SNL when he was doing Weekend Update. And it's again, Norm is good because it's like it was his delivery, his deadpan voice is what was needed to properly execute his comedy. But he was like, and topping off the billboards this week was Better Than Ezra, finally hitting the number one slot with their song Good. Right behind that was Ezra. Like, and
I never heard that. That's so good.
it's
Oh
so
God, I
bad,
never
but
heard
it's
that.
so phenomenal that it's just like, God,
Oh
this is
my
so dumb,
God.
but it's so freaking great.
I love that so much because like I really love that song. I bought it on cassette single. That's how much I loved it. And but it's such a good joke. My favorite update one that I can think of. I mean, he had all the OJ Simpson. I mean, I could talk for 2 hours about Norm jokes and shit, but I remember my favorite one. If I haven't mentioned it on the pod, is like whatever her name, like uh, Corionasus is the princess of Greece. She's the richest little girl in Europe. She turned 12 this week. What's it like to be the richest little girl in Europe? Well, as an example, for her birthday, she had two cakes. So it was like, what the fuck is that? It's like, it was like, it sticks with me. Like, so whenever there's like ever an office party where there's two cakes, I just got to tell somebody that, and nobody ever laughs. And I'm like, oh my God, they have two cakes. Nobody knows the bit.
This is the height of
But one
luxury.
of my, yeah, he has a, I mean, just you do a YouTube vortex. That's my recommendation of the week. Do a YouTube vortex of Norm Macdonald jokes. Like go through the moth. Um,
Yeah.
he does a bunch of these like 9 minute long jokes that land finally in the last second, and they don't for the first 8 minutes and 59 seconds. But he makes them all worth it. Like he does all these street jokes that finally land. But he would be on there. Jesselnick. Um, I don't know who else you got. We don't have to do four. But
um, I don't know. It's tough because I really like Jim Gaffigan, but he is an example of he is now gone full blown into putting out too much material. So I kind of have fallen off. Um,
but
for
would you
the
watch most of his shit? I mean, moving forward, would he still be somebody that you'd watch a lot of his stuff versus somebody else? Like if you
Yeah,
had to
because I mean,
rewatch.
again, I think it's more if he's a funny person because he's just
Mm-hmm.
constantly putting stuff out that is just observational, not observational, but rather just like he's so good at describing any story. So again, I think he's phenomenal at it, but it's not like new material. It's almost just like Jim Gaffigan could literally put out an album every 6 months and just write down notes about what he went through in life and just constantly just keep talking about it with his style because he does like the I'll say it this way and then he does like the fan voice in the head like why is he doing that, how he always follows up his own
Yeah,
jokes with
yeah,
like
yeah,
reactionary stuff,
yeah,
but that's because he's a funny guy and he understands how
yeah,
he can say it a one way and make you think another way and predict how you're going to react to it.
yeah. That was a good bit.
um so it's a kind of a standing bit. So he's an interesting one, but I dare say, and it's really tough to assert this, but I might have to say Mitch Hedberg, um, a personal favorite.
Yeah, that's
I
all
don't
right.
know that.
Yeah.
I don't know what he if he inspired people, but like he was like a little bit of like Jerry Seinfeld, but on a lower brow level, but yet somehow lower brow but more creative. Um, and it's one liner nonsense. Like the fact that he literally did stand up, which could be written as like a checklist off of a sheet of paper, like no segues, no real stories. He just had thoughts and just kept hammering them out. And sometimes he would maybe give like 2 or 3 lines of jokes worth on a single subject, but then there was whatever, next thing, like just
Yeah,
stupid
good
things. Like,
writing though too. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's like
he even made a
very
joke
thoughtful.
about how he writes. I like to sit in bed at the hotel, and was he's like, it's like I don't think of a good joke, and then I'll see the pen is on the other side of the room, and he goes, I have one of two things. I can either get the pen or convince myself that that last joke wasn't that good. like, like just
Dude, that's so relatable.
right. It's
Like,
nonsense,
yeah,
but relatable.
like whatever you're doing in life, creative wise or like productive wise, like I do that all the time. Where you're like, oh, where's my phone? I got to write this down, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. This is dumb. It's not good. And you like convince yourself of that. Yeah. It's so universal.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, I can't. It's hard. I mean, now because I'm like the pressure of the Mount Rushmore, but as I'm thinking, I mean, I loved like just growing up. Like, I mean, like Daniel Tosh and like Nick Swardson. Those were a couple of specials that I liked. At the
Wow, I
turn of the
forgot about
millennium,
Daniel
I
Tosh. To be
loved.
honest with you, I loved Tosh.
He's a comedian. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
He was a little
Um,
abrasive and vulgar, but I dug it.
yeah. I can't think of a lot, but I mean, there's so many good ones out there. All right, we vamped. We vamped enough. Are we
That's good.
ready?
Bring on the wheel of death.
Are you guys ready to start the program? Sorry we had to get so like politically charged there with all of our hot topics about
Totally.
comedy. I know. Oh well,
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. It's like I know, podcasts. You got to be about comedy, and you got to have like other comedians on your podcast and stuff. So instead of doing that, we're talking about them. So look out, Spotify #1. We're coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming for you. You know, I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. I love Tom Segura. I love Ari Shafir.
I love
I
Tom
love
Segura.
Burt Kreischer.
Joe
Everybody that's
Rogan's
on the
Joe
Joe Rogan
Rogan's
podcast are
terribly
my
over.
favorite
Joe
comedians.
Rogan's terribly overrated, and he has some good points, but he's also kind of like he's now realized what he has money and follower wise, and I find him less appealing than I used to. And I used to like him a lot because of I was with watching UFC events for 15 years and stuff. But I couldn't do without Joe Rogan moving forward. He's run
I
his
know.
course with me.
I don't mind him. The problem with doing a 3 hour podcast is that the same story comes up in every podcast that he does about, it's like, well, did you ever hear about bees in Argentina about like, and they gave him DMT, and it's like, yeah, no, you said it.
Yeah, Joe, you
I
mentioned it.
listened last week, so it's like I don't know. It's like, yeah, I heard about that. That's okay. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's fine, and people give him too much credit because he's number one on the podcast. But he's just a monkey, and he admits it. Um, but then you get everybody else that goes on the podcast. And they're all fine. They're all fine people. Whatever. Like, I enjoy him enough, and he was out there. Like when I was listening to podcasts at work in 2008, there was the Adam Carolla show, there was the Bill Simmons podcast on ESPN, and there was Joe Rogan, and that was it. So that's why I got into it. I was like, I was like, again, eldest millennial, needed it. Like I needed a one earbud. I convinced my work that I needed an earbud, and I would do all my forms, and I would get all the paperwork done, and I could do it. But I was just listening to podcasts and playing ESPN games where you had to like flick with your mouse the basketball into the hoop, and it never worked right.
Oh boy,
That's what I was doing the whole time. But they were there
should have
for
got
me at that time.
should have played Candy Stand Golf, the lifesaver mini golf game. That's what me and my roommate would play freshman year.
Really, I'd love to. I would love
I
to.
don't know if it still exists.
Well, here we go. Let's get into the show, shall we?
Sure.
Let's get into the program. And a one. And two. You guys know how we spin the wheel. We spin the wheel.
The wheel
Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. The wheel of convenience. Wheel of convenience. I probably got to still do that. Make it in post and all that. All right. We haven't done an Ask Reddit in a minute. I know everybody's loving trivia right now.
True, they are.
Here I looked up an Ask Reddit question that because I'm currently thinking right now about I'm always thinking about how I'm going to spend money, And one of my favorite things to do is to like imagine, hey, what are we at in Mega Millions now? $500 million. I'll get in it when it's at $1 billion. I don't want to waste it.
Yeah,
At 500 million.
I like having like
but
right, exactly. Like why even bother?
But I was thinking about like being rich and what I would do, and I would probably get a massage a lot. And so this is under subreddit Shitty Ask Science.
Mm-hmm.
I said, also, I don't know if I told you this, but I like a month and a half ago when I was like really stressed out and anxious, I really wanted to get a massage one day, and I couldn't find you. Did you know you cannot get a massage on the day you want a massage? You have to get it like 3 weeks from when you want it. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
think there's like
understand. Like, there's
walk-ins.
nobody. Yes, no such thing. It's ridiculous. Um, but then so I did not get one, and then I texted. Well, I called somebody, and the guy was like, "Hey, I'll text you with whatever appointments I got." And he's like, "Okay." Later on, he's like, "Hey, I got an appointment Wednesday or Saturday night after 9 o'clock," and I was like, "And it's PM." I was like, "Jeepers, I don't know."
Yeah, and my office is now in this back alley. Yeah, it's the one
Yeah.
that's dimly lit. Why?
Yeah.
Jizz, like cum shot.
I was like, I never responded, but I was like, why would you ever get a massage at a place that's open after 9 p.m.? I didn't, but so this is I'm getting a massage and worried I might get a boner. That's the question. It's not a question, but it's a sentence.
That is a
So my
statement.
girlfriend
That's not even Ask Reddit, sir.
I know, yeah. My girlfriend booked me a massage, and I'm worried I'll get a boner. She said the masseuse is a female, so I don't know how I'm not going to get a boner. I don't want to scare her. Is there a way to stop boners for a day?
Who are we scaring? Scaring the masseuse? I'm guessing. I don't want to scare her.
I guess he thinks he's gonna scare. I mean,
or
there's
scare
no way.
The girlfriend into. Yeah. So
it's got to be the masseuse.
But masseuses, All right. I assume, and if you're a masseuse, please comment below. I assume you know that could happen. And I got to imagine it's happened. It, like,
Yeah.
I have to imagine this is not news where a masseuse would be like, I can't believe what's happening. Now, from there, I don't know what the masseuse does. Like, I don't know what you two do. If she goes like, all right, I'm going to leave. Why don't you think about baseball for a bit? But I don't know.
It's so
What's your
common.
advice?
It's got to be. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so common. Yeah. And it's like I'm sure whoever is your massage therapist is like, if they get close, if you get a boner, it's like, okay, I'm gonna rub your toesies. Hopefully, you're not a foot guy, and I'm gonna just slide my
Right.
fingers in between your toesies. Don't get that boner down. Stop having that boner. you know, no, it must happen all the time. It's not like obviously because when I was in New York and I got that massage on my extra day there,
Yeah.
like the massage therapist, like she was like full on pressure right against my nuts, inner groin, all that shit. Like she's like, hey, turn over. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want this to be, wait, this isn't going to turn into a thing like on TV, is it? Because I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do this. I was like, no. So I mean, I did consciously think of like my muscle fibers. I did some breathing and I was like, God, you definitely, I felt your index knuckle on my right testicle. And that's okay because we're just doing science and massage. And that's all you got to do. You got to be
We're
like,
just doing. It's just a little
well, it
science
is.
between
Yeah.
a science of
As soon as
capitalism.
she put your knee up right next to it on your thigh, you're like, actually, you know what? I like the massage more. That's kind of what it is. It's like, I don't know. Just listen, guys. I can, you know what? I can come in my hand anytime, but to get a massage, that costs money and you got to do it. Like, it takes longer. So it's like, you know what? Hand jobs are a dime a dozen, but a good massage costs a lot of dollars.
That's a really good price on hand jobs.
So that's what you got to do.
A dime a
That's
dozen.
like,
Is that
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Hey,
the early
yeah. Look me up on
1900s cost?
Instagram. yeah.
But
Got any spare
no,
dimes? I mean,
I think there's also
I
it's more of the
yeah.
like I think that's the fear that it's gonna happen more than the likelihood that it does happen. Because like if it's a deep tissue, I'm assuming that it's like there's an element of pain to it too, right? Like that's how
Mhm.
you know you're getting a good massage is it's right on that breach of like
But
pain.
that's what I
So like
like.
that shouldn't be a trigger for you, right? Like yeah. So like can't you concentrate? I don't know about concentrating on the muscle fibers. I don't know what that means, but can't you
I don't know.
concentrate on just like the ow, like almost like convince yourself it hurts more if she's getting in the nether regions, or just tell her like, hey, let's stay away from sector P. Just
Sector B.
draw on your skin. Maybe you draw with a marker before you arrive the danger zone. You could draw it where you're like, please stay within the approved area. This is going to be area 51
Yeah.
for you, miss.
Here's the thing
Remember
to
to
know. It's
circle your
probably
butt. Make sure you circle your butt.
um it's got to be super common
I agree.
and they don't care as long as you don't make it weird. I mean, I would assume you just be like, "Holy fuck, I'm sorry." Like, Jesus. And then they would probably just back away and then they'd finish, not finish you off, but they just do. I mean, and then what happens is I'm sure it happens all the time and then they just talk about you to other masseuses
Right.
and that's what happens. So, the worst danger is they'd be like, "Hey, there's a guy who got a boner this week." And that's it. As long as you don't do anything weird,
Yeah.
that's fine. And it happens, dude.
How long ago was this question? Was this proposed like today on Reddit? Do you think he's gone?
No, it's probably been a month.
Oh, do you think? I wonder.
Should
I
do a
wonder if
deep
we got an
dive.
update on it. Like, if you're a
Psychological
poster
Fox
and you're
two
going to
three
do
five
that, you
five.
kind of have to. You owe it to Reddit to come back and post
Mm-hmm.
the results. Like OP, you got to do it for the people. If you're going to
Yeah.
ask for Reddit's help, you got to give them the result.
It's also like it's hard. I mean, if you're like 14, it'd be real easy to get a boner in that situation. But when you're like
Yeah.
older, it's like, please give me a boner. Please give me the pills. It's
There
like
you go.
so hard.
Yeah,
Like
or
I've been through all this. I'm desensitized.
if
I
you
need it.
are prone to it, you know that there's a way that you can avoid getting it on the spot, and that's by taking care of it before. So let's stop acting
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this thing is a wild card. No one knows what it's going to do at any time. Like, if it's that much of a concern and you don't want the awkward aspect, because we already said if it does happen, I'm sure it's happened before and she's not going to be thrown off. But if you want to deter it, you can science it out.
It would be a good bit to be like, pretend it was the first time it ever happened to you, though. For some reason,
Like
oh,
not
it's happening! It
understanding
hurts!
science.
It hurts!
What
Oh
is
my god, this
happening?
hurts so bad! What's happening? This hurts! Ouch! Ooh! Ouchie! It's gonna. Oh my god! There's an alien! There's an alien down there! What is this? I can't
Am I
handle
gonna
it.
die? Like look her deep
Yeah,
in the
am I
eyes and go,
gonna
"Am I
die?
gonna die?"
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Do that instead. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
Yeah.
the.
Never mind.
It's
I do
probably
that.
an
Do
alien.
that. Steer into the skin.
Yeah. Yeah, it hurts. Ooey, it hurts. Do ooey, it hurts.
Yeah.
I like that.
She will
Yeah.
not have dealt with that one probably before. So
Yeah, yeah. What's happening? Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go.
we really changed our opinions on that.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to
Yeah.
make it it's better life
Steer into the
experience,
skid.
you know? Wheel of
Absolutely.
convenience. Oh no. Oh no.
Mine aren't even good.
Well, I have something all right.
All right. Well, let's get it over with. Stupid fucking segment. All right.
2 truths and a lie.
All right. I'm gonna go first.
All right.
I have unintentionally consumed things in my life. I want you to pick which one of these things have I
All right.
not unintentionally consumed. Have I not? All right, I'll present them as they're supposed to be. I've unintentionally drunk sour milk. I've unintentionally drunk a dip cup, and I've unintentionally drunk bong water.
Oh god. Damn. Those are all relatable. It's like
yeah. Now this is not like last week or anything. It has been
yeah.
a long time since any
all
of these
time,
things happened.
of all your life. Yeah, yeah. Bong water, dip cup, sour milk. Well, the one that seems most obvious that you wouldn't do accidentally is bong water. But there is a time in your life when you need to drink bong water to be cool. And then let's see, dip cup. Oh god, fuck, that's gross. Ugh, or dip can. Fuck, somebody's. No, fuck. Shit. Going out golfing. It's easy to do that or whatever. And sour milk. I mean, who hasn't? I don't know. That's too easy, right? Listen, I'm gonna say you're a man who regulates his dairy very well, and so you've never drank sour milk, but you have consumed dip milk and bong milk.
Dip milk. That is incorrect. I have
No,
drank
all right.
sour milk. It was sour chocolate milk, to be honest. It was everyone's had milk that's gone bad, but I'm talking touches your lips like in the mouth and you're like, it's the spit take. You don't drink it.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, it was really, 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 really bad. And it's like traumatizing. And I have drunk dip on accident. I have never drunk.
God, that's the worst one. That's the worst
dip.
one.
And you were right. It was a dip can at a poker game.
Poker, I
and
was like, dude. Fuck yeah.
And it was brutal. I didn't drink it, but like I got a good healthy swig out of it, and I'm like, and oh man, I can picture where I was like when it happened and stuff too. So like it's brutal. It's a brutal concept. There's no description. I don't understand how to even describe it, but it was like I'm like, what is happening in my life? So yeah, never bong water though. But I get what you're saying there. Right. You don't like accidentally pick up a bong and go like, oh, I thought this was my cup. But like we would have people like
Yeah.
pour bong water into like red Solo cups at parties and then fill the bong back up, and it's like, why don't you just dispose of the water? It's like, well, there's not a sink near me. But yeah, so
I mean, also be a party and be like, hey, drink that. I'll give you $10 if you drink that bong water. And it's like,
right, right.
Wait, $10? Wait, 10 American
dollar
dollars? I can
units?
enjoy that? Yeah, yeah. Dude, the dip thing's so gross. Like we used to, I mean, in Austin, I used to golf with my buddy Jordan, Brett, and I, and he would dip. So once in a while, I would like try a dip or whatever, and I would just like want to throw up right away. I have it in my mouth for like a minute and just be like, I mean, it'd get me like buzzed or whatever, but then like,
Were you drinking?
oh yeah,
Yeah. See, that's the
yeah,
problem, because that's what I did too. My freshman year of college, I had already been drunk, and then I put in a dip, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty great. 2 minutes later, I'm like, I cannot pet the tapa, and like it literally sent me on a whirlwind, and then here comes the boot, here comes the meat wagon.
we used to. I mean, I think about it now. Like what? So 2011, 2012. Just a couple
Mm-hmm.
guys in their late 20s, about to be 30. We used to go golfing at this. It's called Riverside Golf Course in Austin. And it used to be the Austin Country Club, but now it became a public course. And it was like we would go. We'd do the twilight hours. So after 4 o'clock, you could play for like $15 or something like that. And we would go there, and we would wear tank tops, shorts. We would bring limeritas, just like blunts. We would get not an ounce of water on the cart at all. We would just get fucking hammered in 2 hours, just gone. The beer cart girl would come around and be like, "Yeah, I'll take a hot dog that's been around for like 4 hours. Yeah, I'll eat that." And a melted Snickers bar. And what's that? A Coors Light? What is that? Room temperature? No, warmer than room. Yeah, let me get that too. I got to wash
All
this
right.
Bud Light Limerita down. Yeah, I got to wash it down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we get home at like 7 o'clock and pass out to where we couldn't answer phone calls and shit or pick up. I mean, and the best part of golf is that it's the only place you can legally DWI. Like nobody cares. They don't care. You know, they're just like. Fortunately, it was literally half a mile from our place, so there's an argument to be made that me or anybody else shouldn't have been driving home. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, you take the back
Mm-hmm.
roads, whatever road takes you by Taco Bell are the back roads, and
The back roads, unless
dude,
there's a road to talk about,
yeah,
then you take that.
yeah, that dip, yeah, cigars, all that kind of shit, tobacco, real classy
Yeah.
tobacco.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Two truths and a lie.
Okay.
Um, I have impregnated someone. I have been in a threesome. I have paid for an abortion.
All right. I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at this or not, but yeah, this is wow. All right. I gotta go with I think the lie is that you've impregnated someone.
See, I see what you're seeing there, which is the old the old detour there, combining two things.
Mm-hmm.
But those two things are true. I have impregnated someone and I have paid for an abortion. I've never been in a threesome. Here we go. Let's go. Here's the big reveal.
Give me a hell yeah.
All right. Stone cold. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the major moments of my life, I would say, is
This
so in
reveal or
2016.
the actual
Well,
action?
yeah, probably more of the action. Yeah, I would say
Okay,
this
fair.
reveals
That's fair.
a
That's
lot
fair.
less
A lot less
daunting.
taxing on the
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so here you go. Here's some facts. FAX. Um,
So I was leaving the driving range, or I was leaving the
yeah,
golf
yeah,
course.
yeah. So the girl that sold me warm Coors Light, she was being frisky. No, it was like so there was this girl. Her name was doesn't matter. I mean, it matters in life to her and to me. It matters, but not to this podcast, so nobody will know who she
Fair
is.
enough.
Yeah, I will call her Cat with a K. Um, make it spicy. Um, but she would like it was a liquor store story. You're not gonna believe it. A wine store. But she would like come in like every Friday night. This is when I had a girlfriend. Um, and like one time she like gave me her number or she gave me her business card or something like that, and I was like, oh, cool. So I never like. Then finally, like I think in 2016, like I was single, and then she like gave me her business card, and then she gave me her personal number. Another time she came in, I was like, all right. Then we hung out. So we just, I mean, it was basically like just your average run of the bout hookup situation where we would like hang out. Her place, she had a place on the river in Austin. It was real nice, real classy. But
Sure.
yeah, it was just that kind of situation, and yeah, we were just hooking up for a little while, a few months, and then like I texted her one day, and then she didn't respond to me, and I was like, didn't respond to a couple text messages, and I was like, that's weird. Okay, ghosting. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are, new world. You
Okay.
just don't
Being
have to tell
ghosted.
anybody anything, ever. You just don't talk to them ever again. That's fair. And I was like, so finally I sent a message because it was to me it was like involved enough where it was like it was worth having some kind of closure. So I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I hope you're okay. All I know is it's fun to hang out with you. If we don't do it again, that's fine. But I hope you're doing well and whatever. Just kind of like I remember what it was, but generically, like, hey, like I wasn't like, hey, I hope you're doing well. But listen, if you are free tonight, it wasn't like one of those. It was like if you're, whatever. Just, I mean, I don't know. It was some kind of closure, and then like 20 minutes later, she texted back. She's like, hey, she's like, I just had an abortion, and it's your fault. So I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, and I was at work at the time, and it was like, it's the craziest shit I've ever been through in my life. Like the feeling of it,
That's a
where I was
really
like,
weird reveal too.
just it is like just through text message and just being like, because it was like when I worked at the store, I was usually the only one there ever. So I was like in the back room and I just stood there for like probably 10 minutes because nobody came in. I was just staring at that text message and being like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know. Like, whenever you have those moments where you're like, is this real? I don't know what this is. Like, is this real? I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I had no reason to not, to doubt her or anything like that. But I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it adds up also to not respond and like, because she had just been through like a trauma and she didn't want to tell me about it. And then yeah, then it fucked me up. So I like got super drunk that night. I bought a 6-pack to bring home. I drank at the store while I was there, and then I bought a 6-pack and just got home where Brett and I lived. I just started drinking on the couch. Didn't have the TV on, anything like that. Just sat on a couch and just
Oh.
had a 6-pack of beers in front of me on the coffee table and just started pulling them off one by one, just drinking like the heavy IPAs too. And I think Brett came home and he was like, "What's going on?" I think I just broke down. I cried, I think, or something. It was like the gnarliest thing I've ever. It's like because it was like it's so much. It was so much. It was like for her, for me, and it's like I made a baby. I can make babies. I guess apparently I didn't know. I didn't know if I
Health
could
class
or
was
not,
right.
but
They were
apparently,
right.
yeah, my seed is strong. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. It's such a weird situation because she never told me about it. So I mean, obviously, I paid for. It was funny. Hey, here's the funny part about it
Sure.
is I cash in like I had a change jar in my closet that had like a few $100s worth of change in it that I was waiting for a special occasion, so I cashed it in. I pay for the abortion.
Oh, that's a special occasion, all right.
Like, hey, let's spend this wisely.
Yeah.
I was always waiting for like the right
Well,
situation,
it's
and you know,
special.
yeah,
So wait.
and
So
yeah,
yeah, how did you reconnect with her? How did you?
we did. It took like several months. So I mean, I met up with her later on. It wasn't even a big. The money, well, obviously, the money wasn't really the big deal about it.
No, right.
Um, but like a few months later, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, I mean, whatever. If you want to like meet up, obviously not. I mean, just to like as people, and we did. Um, and just got drinks. It was like, "Hey, what's going on? How would you go?" So I learned what she went through. And in Texas, it's really fucked too, because it's like they don't let you do that till like you're 7 weeks in, so they make you listen to a heartbeat. Oh, and now you can't even do it at all because it's a Supreme Court thing. But I just think like I think these days like if Supreme Court had made that decision before, like reversed Roe v. Wade, I would have almost an 8-year-old right now with somebody I don't love and don't particularly care for, and the child would definitely be unloved. Um, no, I mean not true.
You're
I
like,
don't know.
listen,
Yeah,
I
but
can't
it's like,
speak for her, but I assure you, I would not love that child. Jeez, man.
yeah.
Wow. It's not.
But yeah, no, it's like, and uh, it's crazy because like it's such a weird thing, and like my thought of it is like I when I went through that, it's like you never hear really. There's not a lot of cases about men going through it or the fathers of it because it's so traumatic to the mother physically and emotionally that there's not a lot of situations where you hear about the man going through it or who the father is. And I don't know. I've told people about it through my life here and there very sparingly. This is the biggest audience that will ever
Oh
hear
yeah,
about it.
me and
So
the five
sorry, mom. This is
listeners.
the first time you're hearing about it or anybody listening. But it's like it's hard to talk about, and it's like it wasn't intentional, but it's like I think there's room to speak about it as like the potential father about how much it fucking just traumatized me for a long time, and like because
Yeah,
it is hard.
makes
But I mean,
sense.
and I'm not saying it's her fault or anything, but it's like so much happening at once, and the idea that I could have had a child. Um, not that I would. I mean, I would if she would have asked my opinion, I would have agreed with it. So it's like, I mean, obviously it was her choice, but I was like, yes, I can see. Oh no, my camera's going out. Hold on.
Uh,
Here, hold on. We
hold
got this. We got this.
on. Oh no.
Hold on. We'll figure this out. Give
What
us
in
a
the
minute.
world? This is a first for the show.
Can you hear me though? You can hear me though,
I
right?
can
Or
hear
no?
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. We'll reset this because
Okay.
you're gonna want to hear this.
Well, yeah, I can hear you. Am I supposed to see
Yeah.
something too,
Oh yeah.
other than the wheel of convenience, which
Sorry.
is also missing?
The government's shutting me down.
Oh, classic. Oh,
Oh no, it just
I had
came
a
up.
flash of Matt for a second. Oh,
Oh, it
there
did.
he
Are
is.
we? Are we there? Are we there?
Yeah.
Ooh, the sun is setting. Look at us at a 5:30. 5:30. The sun's still up.
Only, only, only like 20 days until
Yeah,
um, daylight saving time.
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of a wild. I mean, kind of. Yeah, it fucked
Kind
me
of.
up for a long
I've seen
time. I'll say
wilder.
that. So it's one of the things that I've been thinking about to tell you, and it's one of the things I don't know. I don't know. I don't have to tell anybody. It's like, I mean, I've talked to people at work about it because there was a young woman who had an abortion at work with
At
somebody who
work?
wasn't like at work. Yeah, no,
Performed
you,
at work?
you never went to. Yeah, no, we do W
Man,
abortions.
Wegmans has
They're
everything.
cheaper. Yeah,
I mean, good for them. Like, do you take it back room at the
yeah.
pharmacy or something?
It's in the bulk section. because we don't have those. We don't have the circus peanuts anymore, so we turned that into a station. It's like makes it a lot easier.
So we turned it
Yeah.
into a clinic. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I know it's fucked. I mean, it was. I would say the benefit, the good side is I learned about what a woman goes through, and especially when it's not, and all that, and just mentally, emotionally. But then I kind of learned what it takes to go through that. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll talk about it, but it is not this day. But it's weird. It's very weird how like no like fathers talk about a potential. I mean, you hear about like miscarriages, shit like that, but there is. I mean, and it wasn't like it's not like a toll or it's. I don't even want to say. 'Cause, I mean, I think the reason we don't say it is because like it wasn't as bad as it was for Kat to go through, but it fucked me up to know
Well,
that that happened, that I caused it,
yeah,
potentially I was
that's
involved,
that's the
and but
tough
then that
part, right? Is like is we instinctively as a society want to, and maybe rightfully so, we want to empathize with the person dealing with the worst effect, but there is a second worst, and that can be inherited by the guy, and I'm sure there's parents of people who have parents whose daughters maybe have gone through it, that they feel an aspect, if it's like the concept of a grandchild and stuff. But like, yeah, it stinks, and I can be truthful with you. I've never really thought of it from the guy's perspective either, and maybe that is especially from guys who may have done the same thing. Like you said, if you were in the position and your opinion was taken, you would have been for the act. You would have supported her in doing that. And so like maybe that's why we don't hear about it that often, or guys, we don't naturally think about it. But yeah, man, that's wild. I did not know that. But you know same boat, I you know drink sour milk. So that's
dude,
like that's like i I endured that.
yeah. Well, in a
So
way, we all have.
right. Hmm. Hmm. So I hope the
Well,
wheel lands on something.
let's do one more.
Just
Let's do one more.
you know what? I don't think we should end on
That's
that
why.
one.
I mean,
Why don't we spin the wheel one more
no.
time?
Well, I
Why don't we
don't.
spin the
But
wheel?
listen, hey, honestly, if anybody has relatable experiences, I'd be interested because it's like it's
Yeah.
worth talking about because it is a trauma for everybody involved, and it's like it's not like loosey goosey. Somebody just decides to do it because it's like, hey, let's just fucking kill babies, and it's like that's not what we do as people. Nobody
Right.
does that. So like, can we like be realistic about what's happening here? Because I obviously would have been very involved um, in this child's life, but it's like it was just an accident. Sometimes an accident. I mean, what it's like we
It,
know. Hey, everybody
yeah.
knows what I'm talking about. We're good. We're good
Yep.
here. We're good here.
We're
Everybody
good here.
knows. Yeah, we're good here. So there's there's that. So nothing else. No other news. Yeah.
If it's two truths and a lie, you're gonna like have three gum flavors that you've tried.
We already did this one, right?
Well,
Yeah. Ask
I
Reddit.
can't I can't read the wheel of.
Ask Reddit. It was. Roll them. The classic finish.
I say it out loud. Tell the
Scrolled
audience.
them.
There we go.
Let me tell you about a classic finish. Inside. Internal. Eesh. Scroll them. The segment that's sweeping the nation.
It's not, but yeah.
So we
Nation
scroll through our phones
consider
and
this nation swept.
land on somebody and tell a story about them or us or anything, or try to see if we remember them. That's just as fun.
Okay. Mm, I got Ricky DeBlasi.
Okay.
Yeah, Ricky DeBlasi. Wow, this is interesting. So, I mean, not So Ricky de Blasi, let's set up who he is. Ricky de Blasi worked with me. I probably met Ricky in 2013, maybe 2014. We worked together on the same team and just kind of a work buddy. Was always smiling. Ricky was a smiler, big happy guy. Had an awkward beard to him. Um, Smaller fellow, typical Buffalonian. Loved the Bills, loved the Sabres, loved Labatt, and we just kind of like would bump into each other at work. Even we were only on the same team for a couple of months until I moved to another job, but I would still come visit my old supervisor, his old supervisor, my buddy Mike, and Ricky would always be chatting away and such. And it did culminate that we we got together once, and that was for the oddly enough the NCAA tournament, and I want to say this was 2016 or 2017, probably 2017 NCAA tournament. We got together and hung out. Him and his wife came out to where me and a couple other people were patronizing for like 10 hours before that. But my biggest thing with Ricky that stuck out is that for those of you in Western New York area that are patrons of Tim Hortons, um, Tim Hortons would have their contest that they do annually called Roll Up the Rim and Win, and where you buy a coffee cup and the rim
Ooh,
actually rolls up. And you can win things. You can win free coffee. You can win a free donut, maybe a
it's like their
breakfast
Monopoly
sandwich.
game.
The hope is that you win the brand new Honda Civic. Um, that is the real hope. Yes, very similar to McDonald's Monopoly from back in the day. And Ricky and I lamented about how every year it seemed your odds got worse and worse. When I was rolling up the rim to win in like 2012, it was like every other coffee I bought. I actually went on a 4 coffee win streak where every coffee, all my free coffees kept rolling up to win a free coffee, and I just kept running it. And then by the end of the Tim Hortons days, with my last Tim Hortons roll up the rim was probably in 2018. And I think maybe 1 out of every 8 coffees won a coffee or a donut. Is terrible odds. I'm pretty sure they just, you know, classic capitalism where they lure you in thinking the game's great, and every year they probably made less and less winning.
Classic Canadian capitalism. Yeah.
And and it's coffee is one of those retail things where I'm like, it's coffee. It doesn't cost you much to make it. Like, give people free coffee. That's really, really, really
Yeah.
cheap. There's not a lot of overhead to coffee. Okay. It's hot water and bean. That is it. There
Yeah.
are 2 ingredients in coffee. So, but yeah, Ricky de Blasi, I haven't spoken to Ricky since I left Buffalo. I hope he's doing well. But yeah, it's just a coworker that was a real delight. Nothing negative to say about Ricky.
Ricky. I got a guy named Russell, and there's a note by him that says Herman Marshall. So I know that he was a rep for Herman Marshall Bourbon, which was like a Texas whiskey. So he would come into the store to try to sell it, and he was a cool dude. Um, there's just something about like guys that would come into the liquor store or like wine cellars or whatever to try to sell shit, and they were always the same kind of guy in Texas. Like, there's rarely a guy that did not come from money or from his daddy's money and shit. It was so weird. Like, everybody who had money, like as a family, would try to sell you shit. So Herman Marshall was kind of that. I think it was like from Dallas, Fort Worth area. It was good bourbon. It was good. But he had that. There was this era of like the guys in 2012, 13 who were like 30 years old, but also had the Justin Bieber haircut, whatever, like the
Mhm.
swoop. Remember the guys who had like the frat swoop, but they were
Oh
like
yeah.
too old to have it? And like the good old boys had it in Texas for sure. Like, just like hey, I cut my hair down to here. I'm like, can you cut my hair down here and then make it go over here? Like down the left over my eye, and then just like make it so I can just do that. Just a little kick over there. So he had one of those. But these guys were somehow these Texas frat guys they were the best combination of super cool and genuine and super rapey. I couldn't tell, so they had like the best balance of like, well, you're either real cool or just a straight up dirt bag, and I can't tell because like everybody talks the same, and you're kind of creepy, and I don't know what's going on. You definitely want to sell shit to somebody, but you might be really nice and a family man, but you also might buy somebody too many drinks, and I can't tell which one you are. But Russell, uh, you're a bad one. I don't know. I don't know this guy. I don't remember him at all. I don't even remember it. I think we talked about hockey a lot though, which was fun. So
Folks, this
I'll
is the
use that as
beauty
an
of
avenue to tell
scrolldom.
you.
This is the
Yeah,
real spirit of scrolldom, where it's like, I don't even know
yeah,
why I have this person's number. They
yeah. I
weren't
know.
even a good person.
Yeah,
But at some point we figured it
yeah,
was a good idea to have each other's numbers. Like this is really good.
yeah. Russell definitely roofied people, but let me tell you about something we did talk about. Um, like it reminds me. Yeah, I don't know why hockey. It reminds me of hockey. I don't know if you gave me tickets to like because in Austin we had the AHL, like the Texas Stars, like the Dallas Stars farm team.
Yeah.
The AHL team was there, so he may have given me tickets for that or something like that. But then I remember one of my favorite things to do annually with my buddy Jordan was like we used to take trips up to Dallas every year, like the three hour drive up to Dallas to go watch the Bruins play there every year for like 5 or 6 years. And that was really fun. I just want to say that it's fun. Like we go there in Bruins jerseys, and there'd be a lot of Bruins fans there. We started paying. I mean, we paid a lot of money. I mean, not a lot of. I mean, a couple $100. We would get like usually like lower level tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I think one year we did like three rows behind the glass, but
Ooh.
that's a way to segue into me saying I'm pretty sure I'm going to come visit you in Philly here in March. That's maybe
Has
how I'm going
been
to
the
spend my
discussion
birthday
at
weekend.
hand.
We're talking about it. So, um, the Bruins are going to Philly March 23rd. Hey, StrangeFam, you better not show up there. Don't show up there and ask for autographs. If you're in
Yeah.
Philly on the 23rd, you better not show up at the Flyers game and gritty
We
us.
won't be
You know?
setting up near the entrance of section 113 and 114. We won't be
Yeah.
set up at a table.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna do it, dude. I feel like my last vacation didn't take,
Okay.
as we
That is
talked
true.
about, for various reasons, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go again. I'm gonna do like the cheaty vacation where you use like 2 of the days each week are just your regular days off, so you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to use vacation days.
That's strategy,
Like one of
man.
those. That's how you do it. That's how life works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then you mentioned like, hey, we'll do. Why don't you come down and then Thursday, Friday we'll watch March Madness,
Mm-hmm.
drink about it. I'll probably gamble about it,
Yep.
all that. Have some
Yep.
days, and then it's a little Saturday Bruins Flyers game. So just letting the
Yeah,
people know.
absolutely. And you know
Um,
what? We could tape an episode.
yeah, I mean we're gonna have to. I mean we're gonna have to,
Yeah.
just because of the logistics of it and everything else. Oh fuck!
And we'll
Did
even
you hear
start
that?
the music. Like Matt's cutting himself off.
I
It's like
literally
the
had the
Oscars.
volume to zero. It literally is
Mm-hmm.
at zero. I was trying to prep it.
Everything's fine. This is all fine. It's exactly how it was
It'll be
supposed
all
to
right.
go. But yeah, man, it'll be cool.
What would you
Yeah.
wear to that game? Because I'm gonna clearly wear some kind of Bruins merch. You're not a Flyers fan per se. You're a Sabres
Mm-hmm.
fan, but
Mm-hmm.
would you wear Flyers gear or Sabres gear, or are you gonna go neutral?
What's your view on wearing a uninvolved team's gear to a sporting
I think
event?
it's awesome. I think it's
Yeah,
hilarious and awesome. Yeah.
yeah. Because Caitlin and
Well,
I have gone, and I didn't
eh,
wear Flyers stuff per se. Oh wait, no, I did wear my Flyers 5K shirt last time we went because I'm like, I have nothing against the Flyers, so I don't like actively root against them. I'm not that guy. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll just wear a Sabres jersey or Sabres hoodie.
so I'll be the only real hated one. You're just gonna coast
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, don't worry though. Phillies
Yeah,
fans are notorious for being really welcoming and understanding people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia is the
You know,
land of brotherly love. How could it be otherwise?
and I hate the Flyers. Why wouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them, so I hate them. But the NHL's better when the Flyers are good. I'll say that. It's fun. They got great logo, great jerseys. Like Flyers in the playoffs is good. Good for the league. And they might get there this year. So it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game. There's gonna be a lot of Bruins fans, a lot of Flyers fans, and one Sabres fan.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hi, I'm here.
Super exciting.
I hope both teams really have a good time.
What game is this? I got the wrong B. I thought it was Buffalo.
This is fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But
well,
yeah, no, that'd be cool. Show you the ropes.
Everybody,
there's ropes here.
Be well. Thanks for tuning in. And if nothing else, save your pennies.
Never know when you're gonna need them. Something special.
More than me.